Can't hear you, Peach.
Can't hear you, Peach, right? All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to On the Land podcast. I'm Thamo.
I'm Naledi.
And we are real-life sisters, yarning and knitting and crocheting together in Ontario, Canada. And yeah, we're recording a day early because it's a field trip tomorrow. I get to go walk the streets with my son's kindergarten class. Should be exciting. The whole itinerary is look at the things around the school. So it's like, we're going to walk past 3 churches and the pool. And
okay.
Like, all right then.
There's no bus ride involved. It's just walking.
Yeah, they're going to go on a city bus. So my assumption is that we're going to like walk for a bit and then bus back.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure.
Probably that's a smart plan. That's a smart plan.
That's my assumption because I feel like that is the smart plan, but I don't honestly know what the plan really is.
Cool.
I'm just along for the ride.
So being a day early filming means my husband's at work and I have 3 children downstairs trying to watch TV, but also feeling very called to be energetic because it's 11:30 in the morning. So we'll see how this goes today. It should really be a fast one. Possibly also a noisy one. All right, so I know what you're wearing. Would you like to tell everyone else what you're wearing?
My tilted cowl pattern is by Jenny F. of Sweater Freak Knits.
You should be wearing the pink one. It's the right weather for it.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it. I think I just grabbed this because my sweatery thing is navy, so I was like, it's nice. It was her MCal 2 MCals ago, I think. Doesn't really matter. Excuse me. I was really glad. It's one of I think probably the first MCal that I actually made it to the end of, because there were other ones that I've signed up for, got the pattern, never did anything, didn't even cast on. But yeah, this one I was determined. I did every clue pretty well on the day they were released or by the next day kind of. So I was done well before each clue was released, and I really love it. It's one that every time I put it on or I look at it, I think I should make another one. I should make it in all the different colors that I wear because it's just so easy. Throw it on, you get nice coverage on the front. And even today, it was probably 10 or 12 degrees or something this morning as they're taking the boys to school. So it was a nice piece to throw on and not feel like I didn't need a jacket. It's just giving me a little extra warmth and coverage, but without being it's not heavy, because I initially had put on a DK weight shawl and I was I feel like I'm gonna sweat. So this is perfect. And the yarns are this one and this one are Koigu, and this one in the middle, the navy, is Mineville Wool Projects, and they're all fingering weight. So all the details of those things are on my Ravelry project page, as well as probably better pictures. And I always feel like I need to block out this edging more, and I think I tried and it doesn't stay. My gate is really tight. It just doesn't want to.
Is on the pink one, the flamingo one, is that eyelet area a bit more open?
I don't remember. I'd have to go get it. Are you wearing anything knit today?
In my head.
Oh, it's funny because I kept looking at it thinking I recognized it, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I was I'm not sure.
That's where the cabling is. So what am I wearing? I hope you remember, because I don't know. It's a headband that Thamo made.
It's a headband. I just made up the pattern. I mean, I'm sure other people have actually written patterns, but I just cast on, knit a little headband. I can't remember what the yarn is though.
Whatever the yarn, it's that yarn that this is all supposed to be white, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be white with red and gray variegation, and I really liked it because I thought, oh, it's a cute Valentine's-y colorway. So I was gonna make myself. I can't remember her name. Melissa, I think, who's the dyer behind Hey Lady Hey. She has a sock pattern that's eyelets on the top, and I've started to knit myself socks with that yarn, using that pattern. I can't think what it's called. Anyways, and then the socks weren't going to be ready for Valentine's Day, so I knit the headband instead. I kept the socks going, but I knit the headband. Then I went to block the headband because it was really like rolled in. It definitely needed to be blocked. And the red bled so bad. Like you should have seen the color of the water looks like I poured in a packet of red Kool-Aid. Like it was so red. I want to say it's either Malabrigo or Manos del Uruguay, but I can't recall. But it was like a yarn I bought from somebody's D-stash, so I don't even know if I really had a tag for it. I just had like whatever information they put it in their description. But I was shocked and then mad because I was like, what the heck? So then I was like, after that happened with the headband, I was like, I can't even knit these socks anymore because they're just going to turn so pink. And that's not what I wanted. And it's not like it's terrible looking.
No, it's not.
Like they're definitely, like, at least it bled like evenly. So it's not like splotchy or weird, but it was just like principle of the matter. You know, when you put something in the bath, you have the expectation that it will come out pretty well looking the same, not a completely different colorway. So I'm just like, no, I couldn't. I was like, I can't look at it anymore. Now I'm mad at the yarn. So I think I gave the rest of the yarn to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cute, but I'm done with it.
Yeah. I think for socks, like knowing that it's going to end up doing this, I don't care.
Yeah. Or like something like that for Ada, like it would be cute. It was just not what I wanted. What are you working on?
This is not going to be my whole podcast trip. I just put the sleeves on my Carbeth this morning. I don't know why, but like I've been at this point ready to attach them for a while, but I just like reading the pattern. I think because I'm reading the pattern usually at the end of the day, I couldn't wrap my mind around like, okay, what am I doing with the armpit stitches? Like what am I doing with them? Like I don't like I understood what she was saying, but I couldn't visualize it. So I was like, I don't want to just go and do it until I like totally envision it. So finally this morning I was like, okay, I get it. It's go time. Yeah. So funny. Anyways, this is my Carbeth.
It's cool. It's starting to look like a sweater.
It looks like a sweater. It's so funny right now though. I've never knit it. I've knit. This is my third top. It's not like I'm an experienced knitter. I've never knit one like this. The first time knitting it like this, right? Like, so attaching the arms at this point, and it's kind of interesting. So yeah, my Carbeth by Kate Davies, I believe it is, and this is the Cascade Eco yarn. Looks like it's going to be monstrous, eh? But it's supposed to have a lot of yeah, it's supposed to have a lot of positive. And when I put it on right now, like if I just put the tube on, it doesn't seem like that huge, but anyway. And I've got my thumb holes in the correct position. So I got to make sure they're facing in. We are good. And he's back.
Hi, Auntie.
Hi. I am currently working on my, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you don't have a name for it?
No. I feel like it'll be more clear once I can see more of it. But right now, here's where we're at. So yarn arrived. I can't remember. How did it arrive last week?
I think it arrived last. No, you didn't talk about it. You showed me a picture since the last podcast that the new yarn looked the same as the ball you already had.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I mentioned about the order, but yeah, maybe I hadn't arrived yet. So I am using Freya fibers, working on a design. So started with this on one of their shawl colorways. So you can see, obviously, it's meant for that kind of self-patterning-ish. And then working on this section with their thistle colorway. I had bought my skeins from their Etsy shop, which is where they sell off like, I guess, like, I don't know, whatever, problem colorways. So if like color breaks or something wrong gets on it, they'll sell them off on Etsy every once in a while. And I think on Instagram is usually they'll announce when those are available. So yeah, so I bought those so long ago, and then, whatever, cast on for this design and realized that I might not have enough of the thistle colorway to make it to what I want. So this is going to be, I don't know what to call it right now. Again, I have to see it once it's done, if it's going to look sort of vest-like or more kind of like big oversized cocoon-y type thing. I don't know, something in that category. But I just wasn't sure if I'd have enough to do two fronts with one ball of the thistle. So yeah, I ordered more from Freya. And then I think I had mentioned before about how I had ordered 2 skeins of this, 2 skeins of a gray color to go with another shawl ball that I have so we can test it and do a sample, or like a different color sample. And then 1 ball of a completely different thing just to go with something I already had in my stash. And it was funny because what I said was, I think they saw what I posted on Instagram and determined from that I had ordered the wrong base. Well, I realized after, and I don't know what compelled me to go back to the email that they had sent, that I totally filled in the blank on that on my own. It was that in my order, I had ordered, when I ordered 2 of this and 2 of the gray, I had done those on their sock base. So it's like a merino nylon type sock, whereas this is 100% merino and it's a single ply. So it's very different from their sock yarn. Their shawl yarn is very different from their sock yarn. And so it's like I'd ordered 4 all in sock and 1 in a shawl ball. And they had thought that all of those were meant to go together. And that's why they asked. And it was like I didn't put that together at first. I totally thought it was because I had shared this on my Instagram that maybe they had seen it and like put these pieces together. And like, not to say that I wasn't, like, I gave them a lot of credit. They still get a lot of credit because it's still awesome customer service to look at, to like evaluate my whole order together and say, is this all meant to go together? Because if it is, you might not like what you get. But yeah, so it wasn't putting pieces together from Instagram. It was just looking at my order and realizing that I might not have ordered the right thing. So they were right, but not for the right reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say, is that you did get everything as you wanted.
Totally. And it was like, thank goodness. Like, and it just like happened. Because like if I hadn't ordered that shawl ball to go with something totally different that I have stashed, like they would not have, you know, whoever was I think her name was Tina, wouldn't have looked at my order and asked any questions. She would have just thought this is what I meant to get. So just like it worked out perfectly. And thankfully we were able to make that change, pay the difference, like get it all sorted. So I got what I wanted, because like I would have been severely annoyed with myself if all the 4 skeins had arrived and had been completely different base, because not 4 skeins, 3, 1 thistle, 2 of the elephant. I would have been really pissed at myself if they had arrived and I didn't have the right thing, because I'd been holding this project just waiting, because I also wasn't sure if the 2 balls would match, and then they arrived and basically were exactly the same. So like, oh, yeah. Right, where do we go? And I've split these down, so this is not a reflection of how much I've actually done. I just split them both in half so I can kind of stripe them together anyways, just to make sure. Yeah, that's the saga of this project. So now I'm kind of reignited my excitement to finish this and figure out what it is, figure out what it's growing into. Sometimes I have a really clear plan and I know what something's going to look like, and other things you just figure it as you go along. And that is what this project.
Can you hear him? I just realized like the yellow box is around me right now.
I want the black button.
Yeah, I could hear him. It wasn't so bad.
That's not all right. And you can't call that out while I'm filming. If you want to be here beside me, which is fine, you need to be quiet, please.
No.
Then go. You can play with the toys in the other room, or check out what Ada and Morgan are doing. If it's hard to be quiet up here.
Any other whips?
Yeah, but not very. I really don't even have much to talk about this week anyway. I've just been outside.
I want to see my shawl.
Okay, that was the next thing I was gonna grab.
I saw your picture by the fire and I was like, I want it right now.
Yeah. And I'm annoyed with myself too, because I'm like, I knit this too many times to make these mistakes. I knit. I don't even know what this. What chart 1?
Pearl twist?
Yeah, the pearl twist. That's it. I made a mistake in this area. Like instead of staggering it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say anything. It smells like fire.
No, I know what you mean.
I was so annoyed. I did the whole Stellina section, and then realized, oh, you dumb bum. I didn't stagger that center panel.
Yeah.
I had to do it over again. So I would have had this whole blue section would have been done. I would have been on to the next one by now. Anyways.
Does it look bad, like not staggered?
It just wasn't horrible, but
I feel like anytime I did it on mine where it didn't stagger, it was like one line didn't stagger, like so it was just like you could tell this like area. Like I don't know if I've done it as a whole block, so I can't really picture.
It didn't look bad. I just that's like my favorite section.
Yeah.
So
And
I was like, it'd be different if I like messed. Actually, I was gonna say it'd be different if I messed up on the rice stitch, but then that I think wouldn't look great. It would just be like ribbing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Broken rib.
Yeah.
But this one I was like, no, and I specifically like I was going to originally do eyelet, garter, eyelet again, but then I saw that this was gonna be the stellina, and I was like, no, it's got to be stitch pattern that I enjoy the most. So I was like, because I did that on purpose, like did the patterning like that, it has to be right. So I had to go back. The good thing is I enjoy knitting it, so
hold it closer.
Slow me down. Yeah, the color.
Can you hold it closer?
What? Hold it. What?
I just want to see it closer. Oh, so you fixed it now, though, right?
Yeah, I went back and fixed it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm feeling like I would like to be monogamous right now, so I can actually get something off of the needles.
Yeah.
Forget about it, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, I'm afraid if I put Freebird aside, I'm not going to go back to it again or something.
Yeah.
Intention will totally change. So I'm like trying to knit everything. So we'll see. This is the one I pull out the most frequently, probably, but I also try to put it down because I'm like, I could just keep going and going and going and going.
Yeah. I feel like your Carbeth is almost done too.
It's not that far, yeah. That one's like the one I want to have off the needles next.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be a good camping sweater.
Mm-hmm.
So I am interested to see like how these next sections, like how the colors work up, and like how many, like, is this 2 different sections or is this gonna be 1 ball? I don't know.
Yeah.
This ball is crazy.
Are the sections still like, do you feel like the length of the yarn in each section is still the same, or do you feel like
they vary?
Yeah.
Because I was surprised how long this section was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That like, because I remember you saying like, oh, maybe they're just going to keep getting thinner and thinner. That was the thing after last podcast that you were like said we were going to talk about after, and I realized when I was watching it back, I'm like, oh yeah, we never end up talking about that.
Well, we kind of did, because I said like, no, you know what? I'm just going to wait till I get to it being a problem, as opposed to being like, oh, this is, you know, what will we do if this happens?
Yeah.
See, and we'll talk about it if it becomes an issue. Because this is like, I got it was like 2, 4, 6, 8 or 9 rows still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how mine was. My other one, which is not by the same person at all, but just coincidentally, I guess that's how mine was. It wasn't like equally measured sections. It was like there was a bit of like they definitely were. You could see like not as deep as the shawl grew, but still you can tell like some of them are like just a couple rows and some of them are like an inch. Like, so yeah. Which
won't, if it's like you're trying to do the eyelet section like that. Well, I guess I could just do the eyelet row first, which I did last time too, but
yeah.
It's like, will you even like see what the pattern was? Like, you know?
Yeah, I can't remember what I did with that at the bottom. I don't know, I'd have to look at mine.
Yeah. Anyways, this is Adventures on the Wrong Side by Thamo. Made by me for Thamo. So crazy. It's so funny. I was like holding out for Jason and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, it's for Thamo. Pulled that off. And I was like, I kind of agree with you. I'm not insulted by that.
No.
I think you're right.
I can't wait. I want it so bad.
So it's getting there.
Yeah.
What's your next trip? Or do you have any FOs? Probably not.
Just my Stay Wild Moonchild sweater, which I shared on Instagram, is done. It's done in that it's off the needles. It needs to be blocked, which I started soaking it yesterday, meant to pin it out before I went to pick up the boys and completely forgot about it. So what?
You have to re-soak it?
No, it's still sitting in water. That's how much I forgot about it, which is fine. It's just nothing's going to happen to it. So I'm going to probably do that when I get off of this call, just so I don't forget about it again. So it needs to be blocked. Ends need to be woven in, and I got to find some flippin' ribbon. If anyone has any really good ideas on where to find like good ribbon, because I don't want anything. I definitely don't want something that looks cheap. Like I'd like something like shiny that looks silky, you know? I'm just not really sure. I haven't gone to Lens Mill, which is like my closest place for large quantities of fabric in person. I haven't gone to Lens Mill yet to see what they have. So I might try there, but I'm just not sure. I feel like all they have is like stuff that's polyester, and I just don't know if that's the best option, but I'm not a sewist. I don't really know like what all of the options are, you know? Like, I don't know, like, is silk ribbon an option, or is that going to be like stupid expensive? Is there like better quality? Like, cause what I'm thinking of, like nylon-y ribbon, like I'm thinking of something that's like a little stiff, almost like you would use for like a package. You know what I mean? Like, like obviously I don't want anything like gift wrap ribbon.
Yeah.
I want like to be nice and soft and have that like drapiness. And I'm just not really sure what the best source for that is. So if anyone has any ideas on where I can get nice, soft, silky looking ribbon that's not ridiculously expensive. I don't need tons of it. So it's like, I guess expensive is relative. I'm not buying a high quantity. So if it's a little pricier, that's not the end of the world. But even if it's online, but that has like a lot of color options too, because I don't know exactly, like I can sort of picture in my head what color I think will look nice, but I feel like I just need to have some options to look at.
Yeah.
Anyways, someone comment below with some color, some suggestions on where to get good ribbon. Ideally in Canada at least. Like if it's online order in Canada would be ideal, just because then I won't hopefully pay a silly amount for shipping and exchange on top of everything else. But I'm open to options to just look around. Anyways.
Just a look, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I'm not wearing the sweater anytime soon. The high today is going to be like 21, so I'm not wearing a like tight gauge worsted weight past my bum sweater anytime soon. So I have from now until like September to figure out the ribbon situation, I feel like. But I would like to get some pictures at least. So I might just, once it's blocked and dry and ends are at least woven in enough for you to not be able to see them, I might just put it on like that and kind of hold the side with my hand and do like a little pose so you can see what it looks like on. So that's my only FO, because I was really like head down, buckle down. And it was funny actually, you know, people always talk about like being on Sleeve Island and sleeves take forever. The first one I was like, oh, I'll never be done the sleeves. The second one, I don't know what happened. Like it was just because I knew what the decrease pattern was, which wasn't a hard decrease pattern, but it was just like, I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
Right? Oh. Yeah, I don't know if it was just because I like knew exactly what I needed to do for the sleeve, and it was just kind of like work until you've done this many decreases so it matches up with the next one, la la la. But yeah, I just like feel like the second one I knit in like a day and a bit, whereas the first one I feel like took me like a week.
Yeah.
What happened over there?
Playing cat's cradle. I don't know. I think because I'm embarrassed to say I haven't had this like in a project bag. It's
What? What is it?
Um,
Oh, I see, yeah.
Studio Slub.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out what the yarn was. I thought it was the Beguile. And so like just I saw a bit of green and I was like, but why would there be so many strings? But
anyways, I haven't had this in a project bag.
Sorry, you still sound really quiet.
Oh, I don't know. I think this is like, I'm just wanting to like sit on the floor because I can adjust my body better.
Yeah.
Nice. Blue Snowball. Apparently it's not picking me up as well. And I can't tilt. Unfortunately, I can't like tilt this.
Yeah.
It's just, you can adjust, like you can put the tripod in or out. All the adjusting that there you can do.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to keep like interrupting you to say that, but it's just like I'm realizing my volumes are the way up and I can't hear you very well. So I'm like, other people are going to be like turning their volume up for you. And I'm realizing like I sound like I'm probably yelling at them.
I'm not really projecting my voice either. I think my throat's been a bit scratchy with allergies. Just looking at what else I can do. Hold on. I don't know.
I'm assuming we're nearing the end, so we'll just try to fix it for next week. But sorry for anyone who feels like I'm yelling and the lady's whispering.
I'll put it to my knees. I'll try and just sit here like this.
I feel like it reminds me of like Steve and I trying to watch a movie when the kids are in bed, and you're like the actiony parts. You're like turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. And then people start talking. You're like, I don't know what anybody's saying. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
I know you're trying to be dramatic. That's why you're whispering to each other, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's so funny. well, I say we, Steve wouldn't admit it, but he totally is into it too. We watch Big Brother and are like right into it. And that's one thing I really appreciate about Big Brother is because there are lots of times where the characters, the participants, whatever you want to call them, are whispering to each other because they don't want anybody else in the house to hear them because they don't really have like a ton of privacy. But they always caption the bottom of the screen. So nice. I can't hear what they're saying, not always, 99% of the time. So it's like, they're talking really quiet, trying to strategize and collaborate. And then all the captions come up and I'm like, that's what like all movies should have. I hate captions. I don't really want to read a movie because I want to knit and not have to stop and read. But and I want to watch what people are doing, not read what they're talking about. But I do appreciate it for those moments when it suddenly drops down real quiet and you can't hear. Anyways, so you are working on your sister cow project.
Not really working on it because I cannot figure out where these strings go.
Can you start from the ball and like work one ball back towards the project?
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
I find when I have two balls like that, like if I'm striping two colors together and they get really tangled, I just start with one and just like trace that one strand back to the project rather than working from the project out, because then there's like the project's in the way, the needles are in the way, like I tend to make it worse. So if I can just like take one guy.
I wasn't even going for the project. I was just trying to like look at the knot and figure out where the knot was going. So confusing. Anyhow, yes, I'm working on my sister cow. If I can get it untangled, which is the Studio Slub by Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Company, and I'm using her yarn, which she is not.
Double boho.
Double boho. Whoa.
Project.
There we go. It's like they were doing a dance inside of the basket. How did they do that? They were doing the waltz, clearly. Okay.
For some reason, that made me like the tune that popped in my head was that what's it called? Log Driver's Waltz. It's like one of those Canadian heritage commercials with the cartoon of like a guy and he's like spinning the log in the water.
Oh yeah, okay.
Something like that. I don't know. I can't think of the words, but that's what that made me think of. Yeah.
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 So
Anyway.
I've done some, not very much, because I'm feeling like, why am I starting a new project when I have all these other ones that I haven't finished?
Because Sister Cow.
I know it's Sister
I know.
Cow.
Hold it closer to the camera.
I started a row.
Oh, fair.
Like that. Anyway,
I'm fascinated by the way the color is kind of pooling. You get like your green on the outside and the white in the middle.
I know, yeah, and that's with striping the two together, which is interesting, right?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if that continues all the way up or if at some point it suddenly like shifts over or.
Yeah, I'm not sure which I'd prefer. I wish that it was already shifting. So I think it'd be like halfway it changes, but we'll see. This is the back too, so at least the back.
Yeah.
It's funny working on this while working on the Carbeth and the Freebird because I'm like, this isn't gonna fit me. This is bloody tiny. But I'm doing the medium.
Yeah.
It didn't gauge swatch either, to be honest. But it's actually right now when I measure it, it's bigger. Like my gauge is slightly bigger than what is a.
Yeah.
I'm like, it can't block out smaller.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
There should be a good positive ease on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to remember what size I knit. Oh, I don't know what size I knit. That seems odd. I feel like I probably knit a medium too.
Yeah.
And mine's like, I mean, if mine fits with a little positive ease, yours should fit with a fair amount of positive ease.
Yeah. Say, that's what I'm doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then what?
I said, and yourself.
Is this the
Are
right
you gonna
thing?
show your sister cow now? I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting right now. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I wasn't saying it to you like
that. Yeah, so this is my sister cow. So I was thinking about when you first said what you were knitting, that for anybody who's just watching for the first time, sister cow is something that we're just kind of doing on a regular but not necessarily super scheduled basis. We're just kind of like, as the mood strikes and as we figure out things that we might want to knit sort of in tandem. But you're invited to join in. So this Sister Cal started May 1st. It's May, I don't know, something, 8th. And it will go till June 15th. And we're knitting some kind of like spring/early summer garment, something that when it comes off the needles, you will be ready to wear, weather permitting. So not like a sweater for next Christmas or socks for next fall or anything like that. Something that you're like, I'm going to knit it and I'm going to wear it. So Naledi said she's knitting the Studio Slub Tee by Annie Lupton. I am knitting on, well, right now it just looks like a stockinette swatch, but I don't know what the official name is. It's a test knit for Melissa Kremer. And it will be, I think we showed it last week. Did we insert a picture last week? I think I also posted something on my Instagram, or I might have posted my stories. But so it'll be like a sleeveless top. Front and back will be the same, using this, which is In the Gloaming by Crooked Kitchen Yarns. It is so frickin' gorgeous. On her MCS, her Merino Cashmere Silk Sport base. It's so nice. It's like soft, but not like precious. And I really like that.
So the pattern called for sport weight?
Pattern called for sport weight. Okay. She used a cotton, I think, or a cotton blend from Knit One Crochet Two or something like that, which is an American brand. But I checked out their site to see about that yarn, and it's brand new, and I couldn't find any retailers that were actually carrying it yet. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to use that even if I wanted to. So so I decided to go for something like this because I love this base. I have something else that I knit last summer in the same base. Different colorway, but same base. And it's just really nice. Like, I just love it. It's soft, but as I said, not precious. Like, usually cashmere, you have that bit of halo, that softness, and then it turns into like pilliness down the road. Whereas this feels like sturdier. I don't know if the silk makes it feel sturdier or something, but still really like a next to skin softness for me anyways. So I really, really like it. And this colorway is just, I can't get enough.
Sturdy like worm poop, right? Isn't that what silk is? It's like from silk worms. Doesn't that come out their bottom?
I don't know. They make their cocoons out of it. That's where they get it, the cocoon. Anyways, and when you said worm poop, because that's not worms, that's caterpillars that make cocoons. And when you said worm poop, I was thinking like earthworms, like brown worm poop. And I was like, I don't know that I would classify worm poop as sturdy. It's more like squishy and disgusting. Anyways, so yeah, the front and back will be like this. It's a sleeveless top with just I don't know, not quite a crew neck, but like a round neck. And then it has contrast panels going down the side that I'll be doing in this colorway, which is called Ditto. It's by Skeiny Dipping Yarns, and I think it's just a merino silk. But colors wise, I feel like they're really good fit. Camera's not picking this one up. This one's like not warmer, but the color's like a little bit richer in real life. But I think it'll be really, really pretty. It'll be a really nice top for summer. Yeah. So that's mine. I'm doing that test knit. I also have plans to do, because I don't think this will take me quite to the 15th. I also have plans to do the composition, what's it called? Composition top or composition sweater by Telly Bean Knits, which is like a long sleeve, a fingering weight long sleeve sweater that's super hyper cropped, so above the bust cropped. That's also on my plans, but I wanted to get this I wanted to get this cast on because it is a test knit that also ends on the 15th, which is when our Sister Cal ends, so it's perfect deadline. I wanted to get this cast on and get like a good dent in this before I try to cast on my other one, just to make sure that this can get done on time. And yeah, other than that, because I was really, really focused on getting my sweater finished, I didn't really work on anything else besides these two, I don't think. Oh, I did a little bit on this, actually. This was my weekend in the car project. So I was testing these. They're supposed to be wrist warmers, patterns by Kate Celine, the spotty wrist warmers. But I lengthened the repeats, so I can't remember how many spot repeats you're supposed to have. I think it's supposed to end about here and then have the rib just to be a wrist warmer. But it's going to be leg warmers for my niece. So one's done, which I showed before, and I've got a few repeats done on the second one. So that was it was a good like in the car project because the rows aren't too long, so I can get to the end of one before I have to tuck it away. Anyways, so Sister Cal, join in if you like. Hashtag OTL Sister Cal on Instagram to enter, and we will draw some prizes. And that reminded me that I still messaged everybody else, so I'll do that today. Yeah, it's just like it's fun to share those projects and to be knitting things that we can share together. I know that one of the ladies from the, I'm going to say it wrong. I want to say it's called Northern Knits podcast. I'll check. Yeah, there's another pair of sisters who are podcasters from also somewhere in Canada. I'm not going to try to remember where because I'm going to say it wrong. Yeah, Northern Knits podcast. They said Canadian Prairies. So one of the sisters, I think Jocelyn, is also going to join in Sister Cal with us. So that's fun. Cool. And yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what other people might knit. And if nobody knits anything, that's okay too. Because I'll still be knitting and you'll still be knitting.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that I can also get my crochet something over here done for it at the same time.
Right.
So. Well, I said I was going to work on that other design for it, but now that this is flying off the needles, I feel like, or flying off the hook, I probably won't work on that other one so much. So we'll see.
I can't keep track of what all you're talking about right now.
Well, last week I cast on that one that I had done like a little mock-up for Betty.
Bundle up that brown Betty. It's funny because I took out my brown Betty recently for the kids to play with, the teapot, you know?
Your what? You took out your what?
There's like, you know those like dark brown teapots? They're called brown Bettys.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I for some reason thought you were talking about Bundle Up Betty, and then you said tea, and I was like, what? I'm like, what did you do with Betty?
I meant to talk about Bundle Up Betty, but instead of calling her Bundle Up Betty, I called her Brown Betty, and I was like, is that right? Is that the right Betty? Then I thought you laughed because you were thinking I meant like her skin was brown.
Well, that's what I thought you were trying to say. I was like, that's funny. She's kind of brown, I guess.
Yeah, but not.
Anyways, yeah, so I had started that crochet project, but now that my other one, my Diamondback, is working out better, I'm gonna probably just keep plugging away on that.
Right. I don't know why, but I really loved the yarn for the other one, so I'm like, I really want to work on that other one.
Which one? The yarn that I'm gonna give to you?
Brown Betty.
The yarn that I'm gonna give to you, or the yarn that I was using?
Obviously, the yarn that I was gonna use.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not ready for it because you already have too many projects on the go. So
I don't have any.
I'm not saying I'll never go back to it. I'm just saying I'm not going to go back to it right now.
I want a crochet project, a crochet garment.
Okay, well then I'll give you the Diamondback because it's ready to go enough that you won't catch up to me before I'm done.
Okay.
You got to do the whole back because I realized I started the back with the vintage colorway, and then I think I started to frog it, and then I realized, oh, why am I frogging this? Because I could just, whatever, transfer this and start the other project. But then I realized, oh, I probably should frog it anyways because you and I have very different tension. So if you try to pick up where I left off, you're going to have like half your diamond's going to be one way and half your diamond's going to be a different way. So.
That's what I'm thinking about the beguile. I think I'm going to have to. You know what though? Like I really like it. I feel like it's like something I want to knit in the fall.
Yeah.
I really like working on it. I love this stitch pattern. I'm getting
Now you love it. Now you love it.
I know. Except for this, I'm going to show it to you. I haven't worked on it that much. Except for this one stripe of yellow that came in. I was like, oh, it's too dark.
Yeah. But there were a few moments like that with the purple. And I feel like that's my thing with like Spin Cycle in general, like or like the Magic Cake. When you're looking at it close up and you can see every single stitch of that color that you're not sure about, you're like, ugh, this stripe is terrible. And then you take it back when it's all finished and you're like, oh, it just all looks so beautiful. Yeah, it looks really icky. But I feel like when it's all
copper on it or something.
It looks like what?
Like its copper got spilled on it by accident.
Yeah.
Rust.
But I feel like when it's done and you hold it out, there'll probably be some other yellowy parts, and then the whole thing will just look beautiful together.
I know, it's gonna blend. You can back here, you can see where the other yellow spots are.
Yeah.
So bright.
And back there, it doesn't look as yellow as when you show it up close. Like back there, it has more of like a green tone to it almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I've got like 7 chart repeats now.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Looks good though.
It looks great. It does.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. And it's not so bad to knit, right? Like
It's
once you
not.
get into the flow of it, then you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, no, I have the chart. I keep it beside me just to make sure. I'm like, okay, which way do I cross first for this part? But for the most part, I can just work on it and I can read it, the work now too. So
yeah. And if you only have to look at it for the cross rows, then you're only looking at it like 1 out of 6 rows, right?
Yeah.
And that is, yeah. So it's not like you have to keep staring at it.
No, I know.
Right. And I feel like when you get a few more repeats in, you won't even have to look at that part. Almost done the first row.
I know.
That's exciting. Excuse me.
Little milestones.
Yeah, so that's all I've been working on knit-wise, or whatever knit and crochet-wise. Do you have any other projects? I have just a couple other things that I was going to show you.
I didn't bring anything else up. I have lots of stuff on the go, but yeah, I didn't bring up Freebird because I haven't done that much on it.
Yeah. I feel like it's a more dramatic showing off when you have like 6 repeats and then suddenly you have the side all done, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than like, look, 1 more repeat.
It's
Look,
not
one
like
more
the yarn
repeat.
colors are changing. Like there's no tonality to it. It's just all the same. And
You're like, look, more taupe.
yeah, right? Taupe of all colors.
Taupe and cables. So I was going to show you acquisition/future knit. So I got
Sorry.
Wet Coast. What?
Is it my speaker? It's like, I'm really hoping it's not recording like that.
It isn't. There's been a few times where I could see that your sound was off from your picture, like they're out of sync somehow, but
no, I mean my speaker is crackling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I can't hear that, but there's been a few other little sound things here and there that I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah.
It was actually a little bit crackly at the beginning. I meant to say something and then it stopped, so I don't know what happened. Ooh, that felt prickly. So Wet Coast Wools had a sale, I guess in store, but also online. And I heard about it when I was watching their podcast because they have a great podcast.
I
like
their
them.
podcast. I don't get to it very often, but I do like
it. It took me a bit to get into it. I'm not really sure why. I feel like sometimes I have to watch people a few times before I like get their vibe and can like figure out like what's the right time of day for me to watch this person. Or these people. But yeah, actually their most recent episode had someone different on it and I can't think of her name. But a designer, and I remember I've looked at some of her designs before and I think she's very talented. So it was kind of cool to get to like hear her speak versus some of the other staff that they've had on at different times. So yeah, it's neat like format that they have. Anyway, so they had a sale for local yarn shop day, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Now that was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was for your local yarn store day or it was for something. I don't know. I can't remember. Or they had an event in their store or an event that was like local to them or something like that. Anyways, so I went on their website, of course, because they used the S word, and found this, which is funny because they're like your neighbors.
They're like my neighbors. Oh, Georgian Bay Fiber Company.
They're from Perry
They actually are from Perry Sound. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is 100% BFL, and I think it's 100% untreated BFL. Oh yeah. So yeah, Georgian Bay Fiber Company, 100% untreated BFL. It says sand on the inside of here, but I think when I ordered it and on the back of here it says Nottawa sand, which I thought was kind of cute too. So naturally, I ordered 4 skeins because
2 are for me.
yes, you can buy 2 if you want. Huh? No, I was kind of thinking I might like a fingering weight BFL sweater. And I think I want to use it with some of the spin cycle. So one thing I want to make almost for sure. I want to see if I can screen share because I realized, oh, this is how you can show pictures. Hold on, I'm going to try this and we'll see if it works. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So one of the things I want to knit is these paper birch socks by, you can see her name there, Mara Catherine Reiner, because I have the Pussy Willow color, that yellow, by Spin Cycle Yarns, and I was thinking like, ooh, the Pussy Willow, and then this for the natural color background, like, ooh, wouldn't those be great socks?
Those are, yeah, that would be really pretty.
They're just fantastic. I don't know what it is about this stitch pattern with the transition of color in the spin cycle. I'm just like in love with these socks. Like she showed them on her Instagram when they were just like this, like just the toe. And I was like, I don't even know what it is, but I already want it.
Yeah.
Like, but now that I know what the whole sock looks like, I definitely really want to knit these. So I was thinking, yeah, use one skein. Yeah, use one skein for, use one skein and some of the Pussy Willow colorway for that. And then I'll still have 3 skeins left that I either, want to mix with some spin cycle to maybe make like a sweater or something. Like I was thinking like if you kind of did something top down and kind of striped the yoke, like with the color progressions in the spin cycle, wouldn't that be so cute? Like a natural color sweater, but not like a boring sweater. Either that or...
I see it. I feel you.
Yeah. So either that or I don't know, something else. I Stranded Dye Works, Amy Florence, had an update in her shop where she posted a lot of one-of-a-kind colorways, and she had shown off some of them on the podcast, and there was this one color that was like peach, but not peach. Like it was like peach with like a whole bunch of other colors, like kind of mangled in there and speckled in there. And oh, I don't know what it was about this color. I was like, yes, I need to have that. What?
Windows open, trucks and motorcycles and.
You just had a really strange look on your face.
So loud.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know what it was about this peach color, but I was like, I need that in my life. So I went on and what?
I know what it was.
What?
It was the O word.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's part of it, but she had a bunch of other one-of-kinds, and I was looking at some of them, and I was just like, no, I don't really need anything blue. I don't really need anything pink. Like, you just like, I have a lot of colors in my stash that I really like, and I definitely will use, but it was like, I just don't have anything peach. And I feel like peach with like this natural colorway, like they would just look so cute together. And she had one left in her Fjord base, which is BFL. So I was like, it's gotta happen.
Can't hear you, Peach.
Can't hear you, Peach, right? It's like my favorite line. It's my favorite line to the point that like the kids aren't even fazed by it anymore. When they're downstairs and trying to like, Mommy, like I'm in the kitchen, like water's running, dishwasher's going, I'm trying to like make supper. I can't hear any of what they're saying. Can't hear you, Peach. They don't even react anymore. It's my favorite. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Finding Nemo. It's like there's so many funny one-liners in that movie. In all the Pixar movies.
I was gonna say in any of the Pixars, yeah.
But I feel like we use a lot. Yeah. There's like certain ones, like we just have our like certain lines from certain movies, not all the lines from all the movies, but that's one of our favorites. So yeah, I think that was it.
That's it for me.
There's times where like I wish I had explanations for the things that I do, but I can't explain it. There's something else I was thinking about though.
You're gonna do that again, are you?
Kind of close to doing something else weird, but I had one other thing, but it was just a question that I was going to ask you, not anything that needs to be on the podcast, so nobody else will care. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. So check out, what's the podcast where one of the sisters might be joining us? Northern Lights?
Northern Knits.
Northern Knits. Yeah, I'm going to check them out and see what she's working on. Because that's exciting. Plus sisters. Plus Canada.
I don't know. I can't find it. Yeah, I think it was Northern Knits. We'll put it somewhere. Yeah.
I'll plug it. I'll plug it now that I know.
Plug it in there.
I don't know.
I think that's it.
That's all.
I think that's all. Have a good nitty time.
I hope everyone's having some pretty awesome weather because
Yeah.
we are, and I hope that everyone else is too.
Yeah. It's backyard on the deck knitting season in Ontario now, so
Yeah, it is.
I hope it is for you as well. Enjoy some outdoor knitting. Squirrel is freaking out.
What? A squirrel freaking out?
Yeah, we always have I'm sure there's more than one squirrel that hangs around in our backyard, but it always seems like it's the same gray squirrel that comes and sits in the same spot on the fence and faces toward the house. But today it's sitting there and its tail is flipping all over the place. It looks very strange. Weird. Anyways, that's all.
Yeah.
Next time.
Go knit and watch wildlife.
Yep. Knit in the nature.
So yarn on, people.
Yarn on.
Yarn on.
Bye.
Bye.